as we get things started, what we'd like to offer up to you all is a practice that we've been developing and working to kind of integrate into the ways we host and facilitate space with our partners and folks that we work with. And it is a practice around acknowledging the land that we're on. And so this is something that we've been kind of navigating and experimenting with prior to the whole pandemic of COVID, and this new realm of virtual learning has pushed us to consider how we begin to host and engage this practice in a meaningful way in a virtual space. So what I'd like to do is sort of offer up some words that we received from a relative in Texas who kind of let us or gifted us with this response when we requested support in hosting a land acknowledgement in an event that we were doing in Texas. And so I want to offer some of these words because I feel like they are really powerful and a way for us to ground this this course and start to set our intentions together in an honorable way that recognizes the history and the legacy of the land that we're on. And so there's some pictures on the screen here, one of a much younger me, and there's a picture of my family as well, co-parent, and my children when they were younger, and some nephews, and just some other images as well to kind of invoke the spirit of Indigenous people, Indigenous resilience, and Indigenous sort of struggle to continue to thrive and exist in a world that is oftentimes told us that we don't exist at all. And so with that, I offer these words. This is a great opportunity for us to express that land acknowledgement is an empty gesture without action. When we conduct our land acknowledgement, we make the above observation and follow with the ceremonial expression of the sacred nature of the land, Mother Earth to be specific. This land is actually a living being that we are part of, Mother Earth, and we have despoiled this cosmic entity. So we are all Indigenous and non-Indigenous to the Americas or other lands, human beings. Humankind must unite at this most critical and urgent of times to repair the damage we've done and save ourselves from extinction. So our ceremony reflects this sacred responsibility and is a prayer that we hope moves people to realization and action. And again, those words come from Maria F. Rocha, the Executive Director of Indigenous Cultures Institute down in Texas. And so I offer these up, these words for you to consider and to kind of integrate into your mind this morning, your spirit this morning, and consider what the message is. And we'd like to offer a resource to you to help you to continue to think about the legacy and the history of the land that you're on. And you can use this link to go to an interactive map. You can type in your home address, your address of work, or anywhere else really. And it'll take you to the Indigenous peoples who originate from the land where you live and work. And so we invite you to explore that resource, to get to know a little bit more about the history of the land that you're on, because we know that in this moment, particularly as we watch the world and the pandemics that we're experiencing, both when we think about the virus of COVID-19 and also the pandemic of racial violence and anti-Blackness and racism. And so this moment that we're in is providing us an incredible opportunity to really examine the ways in which we're currently living. We're watching Mother Earth taking her time to space to do healing. And what can we ask ourselves? What can we learn from Indigenous communities? Not in a way of kind of like taking, but in this kind of reciprocal interdependence that we recognize that for millennia, Indigenous communities have been able to live in ways that promote the collective health and well-being of the planet and humanity. And so what do we stand to learn from Indigenous communities in this time to lead us and guide us forward? And so part of that is stepping into this practice of acknowledging land, but also that even in this virtual space, there's a sacred way in which we're gathering. And there is both kind of significance of the physical land that we're on and the history it holds, but also the way in which, even through screen, we are taking the time to connect with one another, to acknowledge that we sit in this circle of interdependence. And so I invite you to think about, what intentions do you have to honor that sacredness today and moving forward with this course? How are you carrying that sacredness into the learning space today? And so just invite you to do a little reflection, to take in these words and really use it as a way to ground ourselves, and set the intention for today and the course, that we do this learning in an honorable way, in a way that increases our ability to build bridges across difference and to ground ourselves in a commitment to using the learning that we do to stand together and build a better world.